piece together information about Maleah Davis and how to find her, because clearly this case has touched so many people, and it's resonated with so many people. So we're really hoping this is like, again, just finding some closure in this, bringing her body back, and putting her in her final resting place. I think a lot of people have been looking forward to this for the last month.
Yeah, I think as the month went on, people just got less and less hopeful that Maleah was ever going to be found alive. And that was just the reality of the situation, unfortunately. And now you saw the focus over the last few weeks turn to, let's find her wherever she is, and let's get her back here.
You can shoot what's your questions?
What brought you here?
I hope that's what's going to happen.
This morning I was able to meet Mr. Vence, the stepfather of Maleah Davis.
Okay,
and,
let's go.
We had a long conversation.
The press conference.
We spoke about details surrounding Maleah's disappearance. We spoke about his relationship to Brittany. We spoke about his feelings about how he's been portrayed in the media. We talked about several things. But one thing he wanted to make clear to me was what happened to Maleah was an accident. He says it was an accident. And he confessed to me where he dumped her body. And so Texas Equity Research will be coordinating those efforts to find Maleah's remains. Detectives now have the information that they need. But he told me it was an accident. And he confessed to me, yes.
And what did he say happened?
I don't want to go into that.
What can you say at this time?
All I can say to you is that he told me it was an accident, that she is dead, and where he dumped her body.
And where's that?
It's in Arkansas.
It's Arkansas?
Yes.
So what brought everybody here then specifically?
To talk about the coordinate, what happened, what took place, and what they needed to know.
Did something happen here?
No, not at all, no.
Where in Arkansas?
I don't want to get off into that, I can't say right now. But he told me exactly where it is in Arkansas, that he dumped the body in Arkansas, and he was very specific with the amount of distance and time. And when I was able to leave and look at everything up on my phone, he was to the point on distance and time.
When did he have family there?
I have no clue.
How did he get there? Did he travel in a vehicle, in the Nissan?
In a vehicle. It was in a car. He was in a car. He said that he pulled over in Arkansas, got out of the car, walked off the side of the road, and dumped her body off the side of the road.
Did he say anything about Brittany? Did she know about this? Anything?
He didn't say anything like that to me.
Did he say what day she died?
I didn't go that far with him.
How were you able to get him to reveal this information?
Two men talking.
How were you able to get in during non-visitation hours?
Excuse me?
How were you able to get into the jail during non-visitation
People
hours?
visit all the time. And I was able to get in.
How long has she been in Arkansas?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about how long that she was there, but it was early on.
Did you ask him? All these people that searched, coordinated all these searches, all these efforts that were made, and he knew where she was the entire time. Why suddenly now?
All I can tell you is he told me where the body is and told me where he dumped her.
So do you believe him? You believe him, or you think it's another crazy story?
No, I think it's the truth. I don't think he was lying to me. I think he was telling the truth. Many men have confessed these type of crimes to me, and involving children. And Texas Equity Research and I work together on similar situations like this. And the confession is always proven to be true.
Tim, is that bringing truth to you?
I think it's true enough that I've got an airplane lined up at 3 o'clock to go ahead and fly detective and several of us up there to go ahead and start the search. Investigators have been talked to up there in Arkansas, and so I believe it's true. Myself, with the timeline and stuff, I believe that we're looking at. We don't want to get into too much detail, but hopefully.
Where are you going?
Well, we're not going to say where we're going in Arkansas. We're not going to say that. So.
Do you think you need a large crew for this, or are you confident that you specifically?
I don't think that we need to. I don't believe we need a lot of searchers. So we're going to jump in an airplane 3 o'clock. Fly to Arkansas and see if we can get her recovered.
And what makes you think this is?
You know, I've worked with Quanell for several cases before. I flew him to Oklahoma on a case. He worked the Sylvester cases. He worked many cases. You know, everybody may not agree with all his methods, but when it comes to this, I'm going to tell you something. He has brought closure to many families. He's gotten stuff out of perpetrators that nobody else has been able to get, and I have all the faith in the world in him. And I think that's kind of why we suspended our search early on until more information came in. We've still been doing little things, and I just said yesterday I'm optimistic that the right information is going to come in and will bring this to a close. And right now I'm pretty optimistic that that's going to happen.
How soon will you be updating the public or the media once you get out there and find the details you need?
I think it'll be updated when we find Maleah's body in Arkansas.
3 o'clock, you said?
3
Are you
o'clock.
taking a private plane or what?
Taking a private plane.
You won't tell us what airport you're flying into or anything?
Probably space land in Rochelle.
Flying out of there.
Yeah, where we had our command center the other day.
Oh, you're gonna fly out of Rochelle?
And you said it's a private flight, not a commercial flight?
Private flight.
Got it.
Where are you flying to?
Arkansas.
I'm done. I'm done. Thank you all.
He had family in St. Louis, so he go through Arkansas.
We want to give you that full press conference there. Russ Lewis and Rachel Mudaraj here in the KHOU newsroom. We welcome all of you joining us on our digital platforms, YouTube, and Facebook, and Twitter today. And what you just heard there was about a 10-minute conversation with Quanell X and Tim Miller from EquiSearch, revealing that Darion Vence, the stepfather Maleah Davis, revealed to Quanell from jail where to find her body somewhere in Arkansas. He was specific. They were not specific with us exactly where that body was dumped along the side of a road, but we do know, Reka, that they're off here in a few hours to go retrieve it.
This is information that so many people have been waiting for the last month. Maleah Davis was last seen alive a month ago, and now Quanell X is revealing that he spoke with Darion Vence, the person who has been referred to her as her stepfather, and that Darion Vence has said that he drove to Arkansas and dumped her body off the side of a road. This is a 4-year-old little girl that hundreds of volunteers have come out to search for. Tens of thousands of people have shared this story online from our Facebook page, not just in the Houston area or Texas, but beyond. This story captured national attention, and it looks like we are one step toward finding Maleah's body and bringing her back home for a proper burial. This is the information folks have been waiting for so long. Not to hear that she died, but for some closure. Because so many of our comments, Russ, if you look at it, they said, I felt in my heart, I knew that she was dead, but I didn't want to believe it until now.
Right.
And so many of us feel that way. There was always this twinkling of hope that maybe she was somewhere and that she would be found alive. But it has been 30 days and that hope dwindled. And now we are getting this confirmation by way of Quanell X from Darion Vence that indeed she is dead and that her body has been dumped in Arkansas. So this is incredibly sad information. A lot of people, their heart is breaking. You guys are writing your comments and clicking the sad face and the angry face emoji on our Facebook page. We feel your pain. We've been watching this story too. It has touched so many lives. But at the very least now, the next step is Tim Miller from EquiSearch says that there is a plane flying out from 3 o'clock from the Richmond airport. They are going to Rochelle Airport. They're going to be heading to Arkansas in the next couple of hours, and hopefully they will find her body quickly.
And law enforcement there has been contacted, so we can assume that they will get immediately to the scene. And again, it sounds like they know specifically where she is off of some road or highway there, and they will protect the scene there until searchers locally can get there, and law enforcement as well, because obviously that's a crime scene that they need to protect and investigate. So
which is why they're not revealing that specific location to us.
They don't want a lot of people showing up there, but we can assume that sometime this afternoon or this evening we'll have some more questions answered about this, and hopefully some confirmation that what was revealed was accurate information, and that it was specific enough that law enforcement was able to get there and recover that little girl's body. Both Quanell X and Tim Miller from EquiSearch both said, I don't think this is bad information. I don't think this guy's lying. It was too specific, time and distance. Quanell X says he checked it himself with what he was told versus how long it would take to drive there, and those kind of details. And he says it checks out, at least in his estimation. And law enforcement, although we haven't heard from detectives yet, they were getting briefed as well right before this press conference about all this, and they were talking to Quanell in a vehicle, and we believe they worked out what would be said and not said.
Yeah, I want to explain our Air 11 shot to our viewers, just so you get an understanding. Quanell X basically called media, called reporters to this location. It's a 2900 block of Westridge. It's just west of NRG Stadium, Westridge and South Main. There really is no significance to that location. It just appears that he met up with Tim Miller in the area. They were sitting in that gray car for a while, kind of, I think, discussing what they wanted to say.
So parking lot of a
reporters.
convenience store.
Yeah.
There's no significance
Yeah,
as far
there's
as we know.
no significance as far as we know. So that's what you're looking at Air 11. It's just the scene where this information was revealed. But on the left-hand side, we are seeing some video from the last couple of weeks. We had searchers going into the woods as part of EquiSearch. This, again,
All over the place.
All over the place.
Rocheron was one of the places they looked.
Rocheron, they looked
Which is
at...
where they're flying out of today to go retrieve the body.
Exactly, and do you remember that they were searching a place that was a structure that was used as a haunted house area, because there was the investigators said that Vence had led them to that area.
Yeah,
this has been a wild goose chase.
Yeah, the property, I think,
around that building.
And you're right, they were...
And then up by Bush Airport, the wooded area.
Yeah, and as Tim Miller said, that's why they eventually just suspended the search, because they had to admit they had no idea where to look, anywhere else to look at that point after a few weeks, and they were just waiting. Well, they were waiting for today. They were waiting for someone to be able to get some more information to send them in the right direction, and hopefully that's what we have now.
You know, my heart sank when we heard this news, Russ. I was just, we knew it was coming. We were waiting for this information, and we really wish, I wish we got this weeks earlier. This was the confession that needed to happen because everyone was just so focused on recovering this little girl's body. But again, so many of you are saying all this does is confirm that she has died, because everyone was hopeful that maybe some inkling of hope that maybe she was with relatives, she wasn't here, maybe there was some sort of accident, she was recovering. But Vence admitting to Quanell X, as he told us, that he dumped her body on the side of the road. Also telling Quanell that this was, quote, an accident, that he didn't mean for this to happen, that it was, something went wrong. He confessed that he dumped the body, that it was all an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Hopefully in court, those answers and more of an explanation will be coming out.
And we're watching your real-time comments here, and that by far I think is, other than the thoughts and the prayers going out for little Maleah, the most common thing all of you are saying. I'm looking at Danielle Smith here, who's saying what a lot of people are saying, and that is, if this was an accident, you report that to police or an emergency responder immediately. You don't wait a month and then reveal it to somebody who comes to visit you in jail that a little girl accidentally was killed. So a lot of people are skeptical, and we understand of that explanation. I understand why. I think right now the important thing is to get her body and bring her home, and this is something that I'm sure will be addressed at trial.
You know, she was a medically fragile girl. I think when our investigative team looked at it, and they looked into these reports about her surgeries that she went under, or that she did last fall, and the fact that she had to be wearing a helmet on her head as part of recovery from that surgery. I mean, she had apparently, according to CPS reports, had taken some sort of significant fall and needed brain surgery. On a 4-year-old, that is a significant surgery to recover from, and she again was medically fragile, and so to already be in that state, and then something could have happened, and if Vence really says it was an accident, and it really was, you're right. I think we agree with a lot of our viewers who are commenting. He should have called police. He should have called EMS. He should have got this little girl the help that she needed.
Right.
All right, we are watching right now. You're looking at a compilation of just video. That is Vence on your screen, and we're looking at some aerial video from the multiple searches that happened for Maleah Davis and all over the Houston area and beyond. And now we have learned from Quanell X that Maleah Davis's body is actually in Arkansas. It was dumped by her quote-unquote stepfather, off the side of the road there. We don't have a specific location in Arkansas. Investigators not revealing that. Obviously, they don't want to jeopardize this investigation in any way as far as recovering her body is concerned. They've alerted local authorities in Arkansas as to what's going on, and they're all getting on a plane as soon as possible to go recover her body and bring her back home to Houston. A lot of people asking about Brittany Bowens, who is Maleah Davis's mother, and wondering, what's going to happen next with her. I mean, just to be clear, Brittany Bowens has not been charged with anything. She is not facing any charges right now. But, of course, this is a developing situation, and hopefully with the recovery of Maleah's body soon, this will all change.
Well, and the belief is that she was out of town when this happened, attending a family funeral. And the only way I could see she would be in legal jeopardy is if she has known something all along here, and they can prove that, and she hasn't revealed it to investigators. Accessory after the fact, right? I'm not an attorney, but that would be a crime if they chose to charge her with that, if she knew anything. And Quanell X seems to think she did and does, but we don't know that for sure. That's the reason he said he stopped working with her, is he didn't feel she was being truthful at everything she knew. He did also say that he doesn't believe that she was involved in what initially happened, but that she wasn't revealing everything she found out after the fact.
Absolutely.
And that's, I'm sure, for detectives now to figure out if Darion Vence has revealed the body's location, maybe now he'll be more forthcoming with everything else.
So April Nooner on our Facebook page. Hey, thanks for weighing in, guys. We really appreciate your comments. We're trying to get to your questions and answer them as best as possible with what we know about the investigation. So April Nooner is saying, are they married? Why do they keep saying stepfather? I thought he was just the boyfriend. That is annoying me. So that is something that we have actually had long discussions, editorial discussions in our newsroom about, what do we call him? So family members of Maleah Davis, everyone kept referring to him as the stepfather. And then when we looked into court records, we realized that Darion Vence and Brittany Bowens were not indeed married, and that Brittany Bowens said that they had been engaged, but she had broken off their engagement. So, by legal standards, no, he is not her stepfather, but since that is how the family was referring to him, that is what we were told to refer to him as. So legally, no, not a stepfather, but the family did call Darion Vence Maleah Davis's stepfather.
Right, and it may be one of those situations where they were together for so long, maybe not married, but together for so long that it was a common law situation, and he's been around those kids so long.
Yeah.
I mean, she's only 4, maybe most or all of her life.